Welcome back, and as cliched as this sounds, well, I am with the legend, Sir Henry Cecil. Sir Henry, thank you so much for talking with me.
Pleasure.
Well, let's start with this year. It's been such a year, hasn't it, 2011, and Frankel has really brought sunshine to your stable, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. I mean, I've had to rely on him and a few older horses. My 2-year-olds are backward and everything. And Frankel's definitely sort of now in the hearts of a lot of people. They he's recognised a lot. He's done terribly well, and he's a champion. Hopefully, he'll go on to be.
Well, that's interesting. You know, the last time Khalid Abdullah had a really great champion that was Dancing Brave. That was back in 1986. He didn't train on to his 4-year-old career. The decision to train on, how difficult was that?
Well, I think he's a horse that he was difficult early on. He used to be a little bit free and pull and everything, and now he's settled down and learned how to race and everything. And you don't get a horse like that every day. Yeah? I mean, it's once in a lifetime people have horses like that.
If they're lucky.
And they're bred to race, and he's bred to stay on and train on, and I'm sure he will too. I think he'll be a stronger horse next year. Another thing is getting over a slightly longer trip as well. He can do a mile or a mile and a quarter. Yeah?
Well, that's right. Well, his pedigree suggests that he could stay much further. He's by Galileo. His half-brother certainly did stay. How tempting has it been this year for you to actually possibly take him a bit longer than you have?
Well, I would have taken him longer if he was retiring this year, but I think as he's staying in training next year, we can do either the mile or mile and a quarter. I think that'll probably be as far as he'll go. I mean, there's quite a lot of speed on the dam side, and I think he'll be, with luck, he'll be very effective. Now he's settling well at a mile and a quarter because he's got a certain amount of speed.
Talking about his earlier career, let's go back and remember the 2000 Guineas. What were you thinking? What was going through your head when he actually came down into the dip?
I thought, God, we've gone too fast. He's going to stop very suddenly. And he wasn't getting tired. He had just been in front too long. Yeah.
He began to idle.
Idle a little bit. Yeah.
All right. What's he like back at home? What's he like in the stable in the morning?
No, he's good. I mean, he's quite hot-blooded. I mean, he's always trying to pull his rugs off, and we have to be very careful what rug we put him on. And you put a medium-sized rug on, you think it's a little bit cold, and he decides at 10 o'clock at night that he's too warm, and he tries to get over his head. So we have to monitor him. We do have cameras and things, and change things around. He is quite hot-blooded. I mean, he does although he's very calm and he couldn't care less about anything. I mean, he'll sweat between his back legs, which normally one doesn't like that in a horse. Right. In his case, it's just him. I mean, he's always scratching and itching, and he's just a little bit hot-blooded.
So, Henry, talking about your career, the option to become a trainer, it was such a long time ago, but do you remember how that all happened?
Well, I only came into the racing world. I'm a bit of a freak. Some of the racing fraternity go back to the days of Fred Archer, and they probably intermarried, and they haven't all got withered hands, but they've intermarried, and they're very closely related and everything. And I'm not a racing family at all. My father was killed before I was born, and my mother married a trainer.
And from there on, the trials, the tribulations, I've worked with horses, so I know how difficult it can be, but the optimism that there's always tomorrow, is that what kept you going?
Well, I went through a stage when everything was I had some very good times for years and years and years, and then I had 5 years in the doldrums, and you don't like to go out as has-been, poor old Henry, So I'm always quite determined I was always determined to try and get back a little bit, and things are going much better.
And if there was a formula to your success, would you be able to say what that was?
Well, it's a way of life, and I think trainers got to be patient, and the sort of horse I have, a lot of late maturing horses, you've got to be patient. So 3 things. My late father-in-law, Sir Henry Cecil, always said to me, 3 things about training. 1 is patience, 2 is patience, and 3 is patience. Well,
you've always had some fine jockeys riding for you. You've had Steve Hawthorne, you've had Lester Piggott, you've had some great horses as well. Grooming a young rider like Tom Queally, what's that been like?
Yeah, he's coming on very well. He's talented, and he's young, and he's going very well. Now he's getting his confidence, and he's ridden, I suppose, I don't know how many Group 1 winners for me. It must have been 16 or 17, I think. No, he's doing fine, and I'm very happy. I like having my own jockeys. You know? I don't like sort of just getting the best jockey available. 'Cause I know if I drive a car, I get into a car I've never driven before. It takes me a little time getting used to it. And I always think that, you know, teamwork and getting used to the horse and everything makes a lot of difference.
Now, compared to some of the others you've worked with, I've read some interviews where you've referred, likened Frankel to a horse like Waller. I mean, how would you compare him to the others in your life?
Well, I mean, I've been lucky. You know? I mean, I think sort of good horses make successful trainers and jockeys. You know? I think if I have a bad horse, I'm a bad trainer. You know, a jockey's riding bad horses and he can't take a position in the race, and he's a bad jockey. You know? So, you know, you have to thank the horses, really. And I've been very lucky over the years for training for a lot of owner breeders, and that I've had some marvellous colts and fillies through my hands, you know? And they're all different distances. You know, I've had marvellous Gold Cup horses, and Derby horses, and Oaks fillies, and Guineas fillies, and Guineas horses and things. So they're all different, and they've all been so good to me. You can't really compare. I wouldn't want to compare an Osho Sharp, who won a Triple Crown, with a Frankel. All I can say is Frankel is out of the ordinary, and as long as everything goes right and he stays sound, and there's every chance he'll be a much better horse next year.
And Sir Henry Cecil, as a person outside of the world of horse racing, what is he like? What are some of the things he likes to do outside of horse racing?
Who? Me?
You, Sir Henry Cecil.
I don't know. I think it's rather work. I mean, I haven't got many hobbies. I like my garden, and I love shopping. I'm a compulsive shopper.
Really?
My mother was, and so I must have sort of female hormones.
What are some of the things you like to buy?
Most men hate shopping. I mean, I'll shop in London all day long for a week. I don't mind what I'm looking for. I mean, whether I'm looking for ladies' clothes or antiques or jewellery or anything, I don't really mind. But I mean, I do love shopping, which is rare for a man.
Well, that's certainly true. And
I do like other. I mean, I love shooting. I mean, I was brought up shooting.
Really?
And I've shot all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a hobby, but I haven't done very much lately.
All right. Well, Sir Henry Cecil, thank you so much for your time. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to speak to the man who's, well, trained some great race horses and who, in his own right, as I said at the start of this, is a legend. Well, that's all we have on this episode. I'm Mohit Lalvani, thanking you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.